one channel. It's a YTN. While it is a major channel for news in South Korea, it is a cable news channel. Like they run news 24/7, and it hasn't really been picked up by any major outlets. Basically, what it says is that the beginning of it actually says it's claimed by those who are quarantined. They're very careful. They do specify it's a claim. Basically, what it says is it's claimed that they're locked up in a hospital, locked with a padlock, and also that they're not getting proper meals. Again, they're very specified that it's a claim. They actually interview one person over the phone, like in the video. Like it seems to be over the phone, and the video clip that's coming out appears to be what's been taken with a phone camera by those who are quarantined. It's reported as an exclusive report. They don't say what his name is. You know, he says he's being treated unfairly. He's sick. The hospital is unprepared. One person is already sick. They can't clean properly, and they feel like they'll get sick staying there. And I think this is the point where it enraged a lot of the Vietnamese, is that because when when the journalist asks him, you know, are you eating properly? And the same person says, oh, they just gave me a few pieces of bread for breakfast. Now, I know that it's banh mi, and like, I mean, I like it. I like it as food, you know, like I've been to Vietnam. But, you know, in South Korea, for a lot of people, like not less for younger people, it doesn't tell me how old this person that they've interviewed, but especially for an older generation, bread in Korea is not seen as real meal. It's a snack. So to this person, it might have been inadequate. So I mean, throughout the report, it says it's claimed that they can't clean. It says the 3 meals a day isn't enough. But I think the problem with the story that a lot of the South Koreans found the problem with is that apparently, according to this person, it wasn't. They took away the passport, like forcibly so, and that this is a claim. And then also, I think the issue was that they flew to Vietnam on the 24th. What this person is saying, oh, it would have been fine if they just said, you know, I can't go. But they landed in Vietnam and they were quarantined on the spot. I know that there's a lot of conflicting report now coming out, you know, what exactly happened, whether they were actually allowed to go to a hotel, etc. I'm not trying to be defending him, but like what this person is saying, I mean, I think it's not unlikely for him to have not completely understood what was going on. You know, he's a tourist. He doesn't really know much about local culture.
Vâng, thì cái clip này đã làm cho rất nhiều người ở Việt Nam, nhất là những cư dân mạng rất là tức giận. Và anh cũng có thể nhìn thấy là trên Twitter thì mấy cái hashtag như là apologize to Vietnam hay là Korean stop lying hiện nay đang là rất là thịnh hành. Vậy thì những người dân ở Hàn Quốc nói gì, họ suy nghĩ gì về cái sự kiện này ạ?
In South Korea, there's a split view, but none of them is. I haven't so far read anything about how Vietnam was mistreating them. There seems to be a lot of the situation is like, what on earth is South Korean government letting this kind of stuff happen to our own people? Because, you know, they could have like warned them not to go in the first place. But there's like what I missed out before was, according to reports anyway, apparently the Vietnamese government didn't notify the South Korean embassy about the quarantine, which was a problem in a lot of sense for everyone. So in the interview, like one of the Korean person who was quarantined says, "What on earth is the South Korean government doing?" So, you know, and it also says the Korean embassy actually did like complain to the Vietnam for not notifying them, and because, you know, it's a changing situation. So still, like that's like an aspect of the reaction in South Korea. Like how could that happen? The other aspect is that, you know, people who've been to Vietnam, you know, people who understands the Vietnam or even Southeast Asian culture in general, they kind of say, yeah, I mean, you can't expect the same thing from home there. You know, like these are people who don't know about what banh mi is. You know, they're saying that this is an insensitive view of the culture. You know, like and even some South Koreans are saying, you know, if you think about the kind of food that you're getting, if you've been to Vietnam, if you lived in Vietnam, the kind of treatment they're getting is actually quite good. It's at the level of effort that the Vietnamese hospitals have put in to take care of them is actually quite good in the context of Vietnam. So, you know, I mean, if you agree, I'm not sure if this might offend some Vietnamese, but the thing is, like, everyone agrees that, you know, South Korea is financially better off than Vietnam at the moment. So the thing is, like, you can't expect the same treatment, especially for free, by the government. That's what a lot of the South Korean people are saying. Like, you know, I understand that, you know, there's a lot of issues about, you know, fake news or whether someone is lying, but I think it's important to note that this is at least in the original article that actually caused an issue, it's one person's opinion. So it's kind of saying, you know, I mean, when someone says something is inadequate, it's an entirely subjective point of view. Like the video of the toilets in the hospital, to someone who grew up in a city in Korea, you know, that could very well be considered to be inadequate. But it is entirely a subjective view. One of the replies that I found to be, like, very almost funny regarding the story, which actually had a lot of likes and equivalent of a retweet, was what this person did or said, or this news says, is destroying everything that Park Hang-seo did for Vietnam, giving bad name to South Korea and Vietnam.